Yes, it's true. I lost $18,000 in the stock market. And the crazy part is this isn't even my biggest loss in the stock market. So there's gonna be a ton of lessons and a ton of gems inside of this YouTube video right now. I'm gonna tell you guys how I lost it, why I lost it, and how I would go back and tell myself to do this better. And at the end of the day, if you're a beginner, if you're intermediate, or even if you're an expert, there's tons of things inside of this YouTube video that you will be able to learn from. So with that being said, let's jump into the video. Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Dantes Akram, aka _the_real_Tez. And man, yes, it's true. I lost over $18,000. But before we jump into that, I want to actually show you guys the new YouTube setup. So we got the office already done, brand new camera, brand new mic. We got some lights in here, getting all the colors and everything done. We're doing a really good job at pushing out a lot more YouTube videos. So if you guys could comment down below if you guys like this, anything you guys want me to add in the background or whatnot, and also on top of that, what YouTube videos you'd like to see from me. Now, for some of you guys that are in here right now, you might be a beginner, you might be intermediate, or you might even be an expert when it comes to stocks, trading, and long-term investing. However, for me personally, I've been investing since 2020, a long-term investor, so this loss is actually from a couple swing trades, and I'm gonna jump into my computer and show you exactly how I lost this money, why I lost the money, and how you can avoid losing this type of money as well. So hopefully you just take a bunch of lessons from this and you're able to be profitable after watching this video, okay? So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and jump into my computer and show you guys my Robinhood. All right, so yes, I blew this account, and at the end of the day, I want you guys to realize something, that everybody's not perfect, especially when you're learning to become a better investor. You're bound to take some losses. Now, one huge lesson that I would tell you, number one, is never over leverage yourself, okay? So that's the first thing, okay? Never over leverage yourself. So for me personally, when I lost this money, it really didn't affect, right? Because I only put in a very, very small percentage of my own net worth, and I had the hopes of swing trading this, right? So I'm gonna go over my thought process when I jumped into this and exactly why I chose the stocks that I chose, right? So as you guys can see, all time, this is over almost a 76% loss. Now, the first really, really big lesson outside of never over leveraging yourself is number two is paying attention to your positions. So when I was swing trading a couple of these stocks, so if I go over to the account section, I'll show you exactly what companies I was buying. I sold PayPal for a loss, I sold Square for a loss, I sold Affirm for a loss, and I think those were the only three. Yes. Basically, when it came to my process of thinking when investing in these stocks, my main process of thinking was, okay, the market was actually at a low, right? And I was like, okay, perfect. It's a perfect time for me to buy these companies that I really, really like, okay? Now, the third mistake that I made was being too emotionally attached to these companies. So what do I mean by that? It means I like Square, you know, I liked Affirm and things like that. So I thought, hey, they're gonna perform very well. And if we actually go and look at Affirm right now, over the last year, it's been just down, 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 down. Now, one of the things that, again, I talk about is never getting too emotionally attached. So look at the last year, over 69%. So if I were to go back and talk to myself again on how to not make this mistake again, number one, I would have never been emotionally attached to this. And number two, one of my other things that I did that is just huge red flag is that I wasn't paying attention to these positions. So what I would do is I would put the money in, and then I thought for some reason that I put some type of stop loss, but at the end of the day, I didn't put those stop losses. And what I did was I wasn't paying attention to my risk to reward ratio. So I literally put the money in. I was like, okay, I'll swing it. I'll check back in on this at 90 days. When in reality, I should have been checking this every single day. So for me personally, with this account, I was swing trading, which is me holding positions anywhere from 6 to 12 months long, or even past that, right? Now with these companies, these weren't even companies that I would personally hold in my long-term portfolio. So if you guys want to watch the old video of me breaking down my stock portfolio, it's grown a lot. I think over $181,000 since then. So we've made a lot of really good investments. And of course, you're gonna have some L's along the way, but I wanted to try something new and to try to test my ability with swing trading. So what I learned is, okay, it's not that easy. I thought it was gonna be something where you just kind of drop the money in there, you come back later, and then, you know, boom, you hit. It's not that easy and it's not that simple. So I want you guys to know that right now, okay? The other thing is that I never let these losses get too hectic. So for me, like, again, I put only a very small percentage, even though it's a big loss for a lot of people and even for myself. I learned a lot of things from it. So what I learned is never over leveraging myself, which I did in this, right? My risk to reward ratio. So before you enter a position, you should be asking yourself, what is my exit? All right, whether it's for a profit or whether it's for a loss, what am I willing to risk to get this profit? And if it doesn't work out, if it doesn't work out in my favor when it comes to this investment, I have to cut losses, right? So that's the next big tip is I'm disciplined enough to say if I go down 20% on this position, I'm going to take my losses, I'm going to cut my losses, and I'm going to move on. That's probably one of the biggest gems that a lot of people try to instill in others, especially the other YouTubers out there who are really killing it in the stock space, and even those traders that I do know who are trading on a consistent basis. One of the hardest things that a lot of humans have trouble with is discipline, and we all probably know that because there's times where you keep saying you're going to do X, Y, and Z, you're going to go to the gym, you're going to eat healthier, you're going to drink more water, and you just don't. But what happens when it comes to trading is a lot of emotions come into play, right? You're human, and one thing a lot of humans don't know how to do is control their emotions, especially in the stock market. So if you're not looking at technical analysis, if you're not looking at fundamental analysis, if you're not utilizing both of these before making these investments, you're kind of gambling, if I'm being honest with you, because you don't know where you're exiting, you don't know if you're going to take a loss or a profit, right? And you don't know where you're going to exit out. So with that being said, it's kind of like gambling. You going up to the roulette table and saying, yo, I'm going to put this much money down, and then if it doesn't go in my favor, I'm going to just pull more money out of my account and just do it again. That's called gambling. What I want you to learn from me is that at the end of the day, I had the right mindset, but I wasn't paying attention. So one very big thing that I would tell you guys is when you guys are starting to take these positions, I would go look at stockcharts.com, right? This is where you guys can start learning about charts. So this is where you go to find different charts. So for me personally, if I were to go look up Square, right, aka block, at the end of the day, when I bought this, I was buying up here. So this was already a position where I didn't necessarily want to keep myself in at. I shouldn't have bought right here. What I should have done was waited until after it went below the moving averages around this time right here, where you can now see, look, the 200-day moving average is now crossing above 50-day moving average, which is a bullish signal, which means if you look at the RSI as well, it's getting ready to start going up, right? Now, this is something that I should have paid attention to even more throughout this month-to-month process as I invested in this company. So that's one of the other tips that I will give you guys is pay attention to the charts, all right? The last thing I would say, not even the last thing, the next tip that I would give you is being patient. So one of the positions, I cut a loss very, very early, and the position ended up going exactly how I thought it would go. So not only did I take 3 losses that didn't work out in my favor, but I cut my losses on one, and then it went directly in my favor, which was really unfortunate because it was like, oh my God, this is why you have to be patient, and this is why you have to stick to your strategy and your plan. So before you take any type of options trade, before you take any long-term investments, or not long-term investments are a little bit different, but if you're going to be swing trading or options trading, you have to go in with the mindset of, okay, when it gets to 20%, I'm going to take my profits or I'm going to take my losses. The next very, very big tip that I would tell you guys is when you're in the green, when you're in the profits, you want to learn how to scale out of position. So what I kind of thought of this as, all right, if you bought 4 contracts or you bought 4 shares of a company, and let's just say the company was $1, right? And then that company went up to $3, right? So now you're profiting. If you have 4 shares, that means you just profited, what, $8, right? So what that means is that I personally mean when I say scaling out of positions, it means cutting some of your profits, taking some of your profits away, and then letting runners go. So what does that mean? That means basically where you let a couple of the stranglers go because the stock could keep going. It could keep going up. And that's one of my biggest lessons that I've learned, especially with a lot of my very, very successful trades that I've had, was that I didn't scale out of positions. I would go up 40-50%. I would take my profits. I would be happy. And then guess what? It would go 200-300% a couple hours later. And then I would be like, oh my God, I can't believe I released it. And I had 10 contracts. I could have just took 5 off the table, took my initial investment out, let the other ones go, and then I would be up, a lot more, right? Next very big tip is don't be mad at profits. Okay. Like I said, I used to get mad that I would take a 50-60% profit and then it would go to 300. Yes, it's frustrating, but it's a part of the game. You're never going to be perfect when you're trading. So never get mad at taking a profit. It's always better than losing money, right? So even when it came to losing out on this $18,000, the biggest lessons that I learned is that I didn't over leverage myself, right? Pay attention to the charts even more. Okay. Follow my strategy and my plan, right? So I should have cut losses when I told myself I would cut losses at 20%, which goes into the next one. Never being too emotionally attached to these positions or companies. So if I wasn't attached to them, I would have cut my losses at 20%. I would have probably lost only $4,000 to $5,000. And then I would have said, okay, well, look, let me go ahead and try again with different companies that I'm more confident in. Let me pay attention to the technical and the fundamental analysis even more. So these are some of the biggest lessons that I feel like every stock trader or investor should really be hearing. The other really really big one that I would say is make sure you guys have different portfolios. So this one right here is solely for swing trading. I have another portfolio under M1 Finance. So if you guys want to sign up or check out M1 Finance, the link will be down below in the description for you guys to use my affiliate link. If you guys use it, you get a free stock, I get a free stock, and you know that does benefit both of us, right? So make sure you click the link down below. But I use M1 Finance for like my IRA accounts. I use it for my custodial account. So I have an investment portfolio set up for my daughter where every first of the month, $1,000 gets withdrawn out of my account and it goes directly to investments for her like Apple, Microsoft, VOO, SPY, QQQ, VGT, some of the, you know, ETFs that I personally like in indexes. And then also on top of that, one thing that I do is I have monthly investments for myself into my long-term portfolio. And on top of that, we set up a IRA account, a SEP IRA. So that means I can start saving for myself in the future. So if you guys don't really know too much about it, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, but basically what a SEP IRA is it basically allows you to invest a certain amount of money every single year into this portfolio, right? And the good thing is if you're like an entrepreneur or something like that, you have an increased amount where you can put into these accounts, but it's basically a retirement account. So when I turn 59 and a half, I will have all of this money inside of this portfolio. And guess what? It's going to be tax-free when I pull it out. So when I turn 60, I'm gonna have a huge payout and I'm going to be able to travel the world and do whatever I want if I didn't already do that. So M1 Finance allows us to do that. If you guys want to check it out, you can click the link down in the description. Robinhood is more so for a lot of beginners, beginner-friendly people. Isn't really a platform I would say you should trade on. I would definitely say TD Ameritrade or even Webull are really better platforms. But for me, my cash wasn't settling fast enough. So I was like, all right, let me just go to Robinhood. But yeah, this is a big loss. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if I show you guys again, you're going to take losses throughout this process. And I learned so much stuff from losing out on this money, man. I know a lot of you are probably going to comment and laugh and things like that. But at some point in time, you're going to take some type of loss. And for me personally, I am humble enough to learn from my mistakes. Never let this loss right here or this lesson make me feel like I can't do it. And then on top of that, I just take the lessons and I keep going. I keep investing. I keep thinking about, okay, how can I do this better based off of the lesson that I learned from this one? So one of the biggest things that I would tell you before we close out in this YouTube video is turn your losses into lessons. Instead of saying, oh my God, I lost $18,000 and I'm gonna completely escape from the world and I'm gonna blame this person and oh, it's because of Joe Biden and oh, it's because of this company and this and it's because of AI and ChatGPT. Instead of blaming all of that stuff, look within. I want you to remember something. Every time that you point towards someone else, there's always three fingers pointing back at you. So what did you do wrong? What could you have improved on? Did you take note of these things? Are you paying attention next time? Are you staying disciplined? Are you paying attention to the risk to reward ratio, right? Are you being patient with these positions? So these are just some of the more important things. And also on top of that, before we even say anything, are you letting yourself get too emotionally attached to these companies? Those are some of the biggest lessons that I've learned with this $18,000 loss. And surely enough, I will improve, period. And so will you. So hopefully you guys were able to watch this video and kind of learn from the mistakes that I've had. Again, I'll show you guys just one more time, just the companies and where they're at. So we had invested in Firm. Firm is down 70% on the year, which is absolutely crazy. We did Square. If you check out Square, it's down 43% on the year. So these, if depending on how you research companies, these may be good points at which you want to invest in them. Me personally, I don't see myself holding these long term. So even for a swing trade, I'm going to stay away from these ones just a little bit more, just because payment processors and things like that have been getting hit a lot lately. And another one that I actually took a trade on for this swing was PayPal. And what's crazy is I actually hate PayPal. The charts were in the right position when I watched it or when I looked at it, but I actually hate PayPal. So again, I should have never invested in it in the first place to even swing it. So sometimes you just got to pay attention to these things. But again, hopefully you guys were able to learn from these lessons. Comment down below, what was your biggest loss? What did you learn from your personal journey in the stock market? And if you guys like things like this, definitely let me know down below and let me know what other YouTube videos you guys would like to see from me, because I am pushing out 2 YouTube videos every single week. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern is when all of our YouTube videos will drop. So I do content on stocks and investing, e-commerce, AI, and my personal day-to-day life, and just educational things that I feel like people will like, and even mint tips and life tips and things like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. friend. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the next YouTube video. And make sure you guys go check out Limitless Investments if you guys want to learn how to invest even better. You want to get the best sports betting tips and strategies from us, and even bets every single day from us. You guys can get that, and it's again one of the #1 places to build your e-commerce business and your clothing brand business. We have over 10,000 people inside of the Discord, so we can't wait to see you in there. So with that being said, it's your boy Dantes Akram, aka The Real Tez. Hopefully you take these lessons and run with it, and that is it for today's YouTube video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.